some reports suggest that we've lost up to 80,000 manufacturing jobs since the president took office. Walk me through that tension there, that contradiction.
Well, it can't be true. I mean, sure, the first day, you walk in from the Biden administration, and what happens on the next Friday, they blame Donald Trump, which is silly, right? The tariff world is going to bring in the greatest building of advanced manufacturing. It's not the country's ever seen. It's not even possible, the scale. I mean, just what we talked about bringing semiconductors, that's $500 billion. $500 billion is going to be invested across AI by each company. You have companies saying, you had OpenAI saying, I'm going to invest $1 trillion. I mean, these numbers are going to create so many manufacturing jobs. The stress in America is going to be, we have to train the 6.9 million able-bodied Americans who are sitting on the sidelines, right? Who didn't want to go to a liberal arts college. They didn't want to work in the marketing department of some company. They want to work with their hands. They want to get out there, and those jobs are coming. These are advanced technical skills where you can be trained. You don't need a college education. You can be trained to be a robotics technician, to do HVAC, right? Like you'd say air conditioning. Yeah, but when you see these factories, this is the highest sort of technical detail. Like I met a pipe fitter in Arizona, and he says, I have the coolest job. And I said, explain it to me. He goes, these HVAC systems are so technical that to get the piping to work together is a giant Tetris game. I've got to fit this one to this one and this one. He goes, and no one's ever done it before. And this is the most sophisticated thing in the world. And everybody stands around with computer modeling and we try to figure it out. And then we go execute it. And you could see in his eyes and hear in his voice how proud he was of that job. And he gets starting salary, $75,000. And going up here, this guy who I was talking to had been doing it for 3 years. He was making 150 grand. And he said, this is so fun. This is the job I've always wanted. And he was sitting on the sidelines beforehand. When I was young and I went to school, they had shop class, right? Where you went and you did things and you learned to work with your hands.
Defunded by President Obama, vocational training in high schools, by the way. Is this something we can see the Trump administration bring back?
I think it's important to bring back, because when I was young, there were kids who really liked that. Yeah. And one of my friends who really liked shop class runs the largest landscaping company on Long Island, right? Like that's what he did, because that's who he was. And when we stopped embracing those people for really who they are and tried to jam them into some other world, we lost them. And those are the just under 7 million able-bodied Americans who are sitting on the sidelines because they just don't feel that the jobs are available to them that they really like, right? Because we took auto manufacturing, went to Canada and Mexico because of NAFTA, which was crazy town. I mean, it was so ridiculous to take jobs out of Michigan and Ohio and send them to Mexico and Canada. That was just horrible for those families. Where are those people going to find jobs that are built for them? And the answer is the Trump administration is going to bring back advanced manufacturing. We're going to have the greatest training program in the history of America. We're going to seek to train 5 million Americans to give them the technical skills that all these people who want to build these factories and then operate these factories. You build a fab, which is the name of a semiconductor, factory, costs $20 billion. You need 5,000 people working on it to build it, and then 3,000 people work in it, right, as technicians. And we need to train for those jobs. You need to get the local community colleges, the state universities, right, vocational schools, and going back to high schools again. Train these people, these great Americans, for these jobs, because they are coming. So not only am I not worried about someone silly saying we've lost 80,000 jobs, I am feeling the stress of how are we going to train 5 million Americans. So I think the issue is not that way.